Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Midcard Mess podcast. I am your host, not one, not two, but all three faces of Jamal, and this is your wrestling news. Day 21 on January 21, 2025. We are talking all things pro wrestling, especially Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We are on the road to WrestleMania. Well, technically we're on the road to the Royal Rumble, but the Royal Rumble leads to the road to WrestleMania. So we're on the road to WrestleMania. I don't care what nobody has to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Big matches that happened, on Monday Night Raw. We had Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. There was a Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective. The New Day finally gets to compete. Do we get to hear what they have to say and all that stuff like that? We got Judgment Day business. We got Pentagon in action and so much more. I mean, Jey Uso's getting a world title shot at Saturday Night's Main Event. And I have a feeling that Jey Uso might walk out of Saturday Night's Main Event as the champion. Hear me out. I know this is what people want, but this is why I'm going to tell you what you need, because Jey Uso being the world champion, even if it's for a short amount of time, maybe like the Elimination Chamber be the factor that makes him really truly main event. But again, imagine Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble, well, not wins the Royal Rumble, but if he wins the World Heavyweight Championship match, and then a Roman wins the Rumble or whatever not, then, he can go after the world title or something like that. I mean, it's just hearsay. Nobody really knows what's going to happen when it pertains to the Royal Rumble, because this Royal Rumble match is getting stacked. I mean, it's probably going to be one of the most star-studded Royal Rumbles that I've ever seen in my history of history. You know what I'm saying? The last time I seen a star-studded Royal Rumble, we're going to talk about 2011 or 2006. Those were one of my favorite, some of my favorite Royal Rumble matches. Even 2004 had a banger, but, we don't talk about 2004 for obvious reasons. We know who won the Royal Rumble in 2004. It was no vacant, the most winningest guy of all time. He's won so many titles, it's crazy. But that's neither here nor there. Road to the Royal Rumble, we're going to talk Monday Night Raw that happened last night. So let's get into it. Rhea Ripley was the first face shown on the Raw on Netflix, and what happens? They have Nia Jax attack her stupid ass, and I was just like, "What the fuck? We just attacking those." Nia Jax mollywopped Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley got beat up, put to the side, and it was just they just left Rhea Ripley just sitting in the little cage that she got attacked by. So, that's how Monday Night Raw started. Jey Uso starts off Monday Night Raw, and he came out of the crowd, and it's probably one of the most hype entrances I've ever seen. I mean, I have, this entrance that Jey Uso has is so hype, especially since him coming from the crowd. This might be the greatest crowd entrance I've seen since the Shield, since Edge and Christian. I mean, I remember Edge and Christian coming to the crowd first. I remember them actually coming to the crowd and doing it first. But the Shield, they have their moments, and how people hype. But no, the crowd goes crazy when Jey Uso comes out. I mean, if you just look at the production of how Netflix pans out the camera, you can see literally everybody is out there standing up, tossing their hands up and down, doing the yeet movement, saying yeet. Jey Uso is just so hype, man. He's just super, super hype, and it's infectious. It's so infectious. Imagine when they do that shit at WrestleMania, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. Last year's WrestleMania was okay for him to be it's just me, Uso day one-ish type stuff. But no, it's gonna be nothing like that. This is just a regular Monday night, and they're going for, man, they're going crazy for Jey Uso, which is probably why he's getting a shot at the world title anyway. I mean, like, he's super hype about being in the world title picture. Saturday night's main event is going to be a crazy one because, he's going against Gunther. And Gunther is not somebody that's going to just, like, lie down and get carried away or nothing like that. He's going to approach it just like every other match he's had and, try to continue being the world champion. Before Jey Uso gets into anything that he's about to say, Gunther comes out and tells Jey Uso that he's a useful idiot who talks about betting on himself and just runs to the aid of his friends whenever they need him, which is true. I mean, he said he ran to Cody, he ran to Roman, he ran to Sammy. He's just like, a useful idiot. And then Jey Uso basically was like, yo, you're right. He's proud to be a mascot, but the crowd is his team. And then he tries to taunt him. And then he's like, look, basically, only one of us been in the main event of WrestleMania, and it wasn't you, damn it. So Gunther got tight about that, and then freaking, Gunther got smacked up, actually. So Saturday night main event is going to be a huge one, man. I cannot wait, man. That's Jey Uso versus Gunther. That's, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. Like, God, like, yo, they're going crazy with the fucking matches on that shit. So, we got more Saturday Night Main Event news, but that's going to be later on in the show. All right, so then they have a segment where Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods run into JBL. JBL gives them a backhanded compliment about Big E having the charisma of the group, and then New Day thought they found an ally, but they had to get ready for their tag match. And it's going to be like the first time since they got rid of Big E that really they've been in like a tag match on television. I know they did house shows and shit like that, but it is what it is. Yeah, man, Bayley now gets interviewed. She confirms that she's put back on Raw. There's happened to be a trade, so I guess Bayley's back on Raw now. And she not only goes on Raw, but she's also entering the women's Royal Rumble match, and she's going to be one of the 30, and we'll see if she wants to do back-to-back, because, she won last year's Royal Rumble, so that was pretty awesome to see. We had Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston one-on-one. You could see the different movements in this match. How the way how Kofi is wrestling, he's not wrestling a Kofi match. There was a moment in this match where I thought he was about to break Rey Mysterio's neck, but I think that's neither Kofi's fault or Rey's fault. It's just like very fortunate that nobody got injured. There was like a little powerbomb spot on the outside. He slipped, and I thought Rey Mysterio was about to break his neck, but he landed on his back, so everything was okay. But that scared me a little bit. Rey Mysterio ends up defeating Kofi Kingston, but Xavier Woods comes in and then jumps Rey Mysterio with Kofi Kingston. Cruz del Toro and Jacqueline Phoenix, part of the LWO, hit the ring for the save, but then Woods and Kingston leave and then come back, and then they beat the shit out of Wild and take his ass out. And then that's going to be something that the New Day has to go against soon. Probably going to be Xavier Woods versus Joaquin Wilde or something like that. Keeping it lucha, we got Pentagon, and his recap of his package appears. Like, everybody's still off the back of the hype of Pentagon, El Cerro Miedo. So, like, it's already confirmed that, like, this guy's gonna be huge. He's gonna be a fucking superstar, and we knew this already. It's Penta, you know what I'm saying? It's Pentagon Jr., you know what I mean? Chad Gable was then interviewed in the back by Kathy Kelly. He's, you could tell that he was in the back. He was yelling at American Made, which is the Creed brothers and Evie Nile that's back there. So American Made basically made themselves known. They were just talking about how, they want the tag titles, and Evie Nile wants to focus on the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and that Chad Gable had talked with Dominic Mysterio to help him with Penta. So there's going to be interesting tidbits about that later. So Sami Zayn then comes out into the ring, and he declares for the Royal Rumble, adding to still a more star-studded Royal Rumble than ever. Like, Sami Zayn comes out, he declares for the Royal Rumble. He says he doesn't need to win the world title, but he wants to, and he's gonna fight for it. And then Kevin Owens comes out with his bullshit ass wing title. Sami Zayn is basically surprised that Kevin isn't mad at him for teaming up with Roman. Kevin actually thought that Sammy will win because he says that they can main event WrestleMania together. And what a world it would be if Kevin Owens is able to not only defeat Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble in the ladder match, but have Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble, and then him and Sammy get to fight forever at WrestleMania. I mean, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Whew. I mean, a couple of years ago, they were the tag team champions at WrestleMania. Like, they main evented WrestleMania. It's not like they haven't. That's something that they have done. But, man, oh man, that would be a crazy ass match. But the Royal Rumble is just one of the most exciting times of the year. Sheamus is then now put on, like, it was just super promo-y, like, at this conjuncture. Like, first the Chad Gable, then Sami Zayn comes out, and then freaking Sheamus. Sheamus is basically talking about how much the Intercontinental Championship would mean to him, but the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker, told him he should just retire. And that, drew the ire of Sheamus. So that's another match that's going to happen on Saturday night's main event. It's an Intercontinental Championship match. It's going to be Sheamus again going after the IC belt, going against one Braun Breaker. And I don't know what they're doing with the Intercontinental Championship, but I hope it's not some hot potato ass situation. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So then the next match we have on a match, finally, we got Bayley, the newest member of Monday Night Raw, versus Nia Jax. And there's a lot to unpack with this match. I mean, like, we already know that Nia Jax attacked Rhea Ripley earlier. We know that Nia and Bayley had beef on SmackDown. We know that Bayley is now not on SmackDown, and now she's on Monday Night Raw. And this was going to be her big debut back and everything like that. So Roxanne Perez was out in the crowd, being that they were in Texas. They were in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, man, like, Roxanne Perez out in the crowd, but she got physical with Bayley, so she got ejected out the arena. Nia Jax wins this match and wins it very convincingly. They had a banger. Like, it was like Bayley, Nia, they were going at it one-on-one. Nia eventually wins, hits Bayley with the Annihilator, and then, like, has her moment in the ring. But then Rhea Ripley's music hits, and she comes down and freaking attacks Nia Jax. And then they beat, like, they fight. They fight. Like, there's no fucking cat fight, like Joey Styles or nothing like that. It was just, they were really getting after it. And then at the end of it all, they separate Nia Jax. They got Rhea Ripley in the ring. Rhea Ripley grabs the mic, and she just basically says, Saturday night's main event, you versus me, ho. That's it. This is going to be Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. And I believe it's for the Women's Championship, too. It's going to be for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. So, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley is going to be a banger on Saturday night. Like I said, yet another one. Lyra Valkyria vignette plays as they did a recap on her winning the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, and they also had a vignette of Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. So, we come back, more talking, more promos, more talking. Like, this is the power of Netflix. This is what I have to say. Like, they're gonna make us invested in these stories. I don't mind it, right? Because it's fleshing out different people on the show. They don't have, like, really, there's a time constraint, but there's not a time constraint, right? They have a goal that they want to meet. So this helps everybody in the back get seen, get heard, and everything of that nature. So back to what I was saying about another vignette or another promo in the back. Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio is talking. Gable is excited to learn about the dark art of lucha libre. So here's the interesting thing about what he said here, right? we know that Malachi Black, right? There was rumors of him leaving the company of AEW, and he has. Like, there's no, like, the future endeavored on Malachi Black or whatever not. But we know that Malachi Black and Zelina Vega runs a wrestling school called the Dark Arts Academy. And basically, the lucha ties that Zelina Vega has, so dark art of lucha libre. So it might be teased that Malachi Black might be returning and stuff like that. They throw hints and bits and pieces over there. Liv Morgan, because they're in the Judgment Day clubhouse, is still teasing being mad with Dominic Mysterio because he briefly tried to reunite with Rhea Ripley last week, but it's just Dirty Dom being Dirty Dom shit, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you wasn't mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad." Like, this, get that shit out of here. Pack that shit the fuck up. But I do like the interactions with the Judgment Day. This new Judgment Day. Finn is hurt in the back, and then the War Raiders do have a tag title match against the Judgment Day, but because Finn Balor is hurt and injured because of the actions of Damian Priest last week, they need another tag team partner. And I was just like, why not put in Carlito in there instead of fucking what they did? And they inserted Dominic Mysterio. So it's going to be Dirty Dom and JD McDonough versus the War Raiders for the tag titles. And they said that Finn will be okay with it and when he gets back. But I don't know, man. Like, this Judgment Day business, they're going to end up turning all on each other, and then everybody's going to fall back into single stars obscurity. They just need to keep that Judgment Day thing going and keep it going. Doesn't have to be keep it going strong, but just keep it going. Like, them as a group, like, have them feud with certain people and stuff like that. So Seth Rollins runs into Sami Zayn in the back, more talking. We have like a lot of talking going down. They have a quick back and forth backstage about the Royal Rumble. He's like, long story short, freaking Seth Rollins says that, he's proud to see that Sami Zayn is actually going after, like, his lofty goals and trying to be world champion. It's good to see that he's going to be doing all this. And then he goes, when it comes time in the Royal Rumble match, I don't have no problem throwing you over the top rope. And Sami Zayn basically was like, not unless I throw you out of the Royal Rumble first. And then you could see Karrion Kross standing in the back watching. Pentagon versus Pete Dunne. Don't call him Butch. These guys had a fantastic match, as I knew they would. They've wrestled before plenty of times on the indies, and this was no different. It was just a great match between Penta and Pete Dunne. Pentagon hits his, El Cerro Miedo driver, or whatever they're going to call it this time, and he wins the match. Then we find out that Logan Paul is going to be on Raw next week, as he is the newest member of Monday Night Raw. And as I aforementioned earlier, because they did mention it during the segment, that JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio will be representing Judgment Day in a tag title match against the War Raiders on Saturday at Saturday Night's Main Event. So that's going to be crazy. Here comes with something that kind of broke the internet. Not really, but CM Punk is interviewed by Jackie Redmond, and the whole crowd is about the Royal Rumble. And he teases on cashing the favor with Paul Heyman. He teases on winning the Royal Rumble this year. He also says Sammy's not on his level. He mentions if Hulk Hogan's dusty ass he'll toss Hulk Hogan's dusty ass over the rope and kill Hulkamania once and for all. He doesn't care who it is. He's going on to WrestleMania and fulfill his WrestleMania lofty dreams. The next match, finally another match on the card, is Damage Control, which is Dakota Kai and Io Sky, because Kairi Sane is injured, because Pure Fusion Collective, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, they all attacked Kairi, and Kairi Sane is nowhere to be found because her hand is fucking broken probably, and who knows what Asuka's doing right now. So Damage Control and Pure Fusion Collective had a match. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Pure Fusion Collective, because all three of those women are like it, but they just keep fucking losing, and I don't like that shit. Like, you know, I don't understand. Like, there's all three of them collectively are great. I mean, a former women's champion, NXT women's champion in freaking Shayna Baszler, a former, NXT tag champion in Zoe Stark. I mean, what the fuck do they have to fucking do? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, why can't they just pick up a string of victories, become women's tag team champions, become a singles competitor champion, and just run Rushshot as Pure Fusion Collective? They're bad bitches. And what I mean bad bitches, I'm not talking about, oh, they look bad and stuff like that. Because, you know, let's just keep it a stack. Shayna Baszler is not... and Zoe Stark, like, you know, she's married and everything like that. But, like, you know, it's not that. They're bad ass bitches. Okay, like they'll fuck you up, especially Shayna, and fucking Deville. Deville will fuck you up too. They got that background, you know what I'm saying? So Stark that's in the wings, but yeah, man, it's baffling that they keep losing these matches and these big matches. And look, what I also didn't appreciate was that Io Sky is the one always getting the glory, right? Eventually, Dakota Kai is going to do what Dakota Kai does and turn on her friends. We've seen her do it with Candice LeRae. We've seen her do it with Team Kick. We've seen her do it with fucking Raquel Rodriguez. We've seen her do it all the damn time. And she even got some new music and shit like that. So, look, eventually, this Io taking over Damage Control and shit like that, it's gonna not sit right with Dakota Kai, and she's gonna kick her head into oblivion, and that's gonna be a fucking feud. No pun intended to Liv Morgan though. Alright, so main event time. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Man, these two gave us the exact classic that we had at WrestleMania and more. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, Seth Rollins ends up beating Drew McIntyre. But after the match, Drew McIntyre jumps on Seth Rollins and tries to slam his head into the steel ring post. Sami Zayn came out to make the save, and freaking Sami Zayn ends up kicking Seth and not Drew McIntyre. So Drew was able to like leave the ring, and then God, receiving an accidental haluva kick is crazy. Sami Zayn looked very remorseful, but he kicked the shit out of fucking Seth Rollins, and after that interaction that they had in the back, it's a thing. I mean, the Royal Rumble is every man for himself, so like I don't know why he has any type of remorse. I mean, I know he didn't mean to kick him, but hey, he kicked him. There's a fact. There's a systematical fact that he fucking kicked him. So it is what it is. Man, the Royal Rumble is just 2 weeks away. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. In other wrestling news, he mentioned that Malachi Black is going to end up probably back in WWE at some point in time. There hasn't been no future endeavored on any type of AEW contract. Rey Fenix also rumored to be talking with WWE, but he has a contract to fulfill with AEW, so he has to fulfill that contract. And I think like there's rumors out there that him going to like Jack Perry's house and jumping in trying to get fired and stuff like that. You can't try to get fired in breach of contract. I mean, Tony Khan is paying you, so and I'm not saying that those rumors are true or false. It's just like, come on, just do your contract, and just be done with it, and that's it. But I could see where AEW is really screwing the pooch here, because we've already lost CM Punk, we've already lost Cody Rhodes, we've lost Penta, we've lost Ethan Page, we've lost all these guys that we thought was nobodies, and WWE gets them back and then makes them into somebody. So it's like, yo, what are we doing wrong? Pentagon's been on AEW since the beginning, and for him to now be on WWE, that's the crazy part. There's so many wrestlers that's in AEW Fight Forever that are on the WWE roster right now, and that's crazy to me. It's just insane, and that's telling. That's very telling. So, oh man, All right, so that's gonna be it for me for the wrestling news for this week. I mean, if you guys want to peep out some more wrestling, we did have CMLL with Lunes Clásico, which is the Monday Night Classic, basically, or Monday Classic. Mystico and Valador Jr. fought against each other in the main event, and Mystico ended up winning that match. They also had on the 19th New Japan's Pro Wrestling's 40th anniversary for Yuji Nagata Blue Justice 15, and yeah, man, like, you know, the big matches here were the United Empire basically, you know, putting a foothold into New Japan, Bullet Club War Dogs solidifying themselves as a big top club in Japan, TMDK losing because, you know, Hiroki Goto is going to be facing Zack Sabre Jr. at New Beginning. But the main event of that match, or the main event of the night, was Tanahashi, Ulton Bowleg, Toru Yano, and Yuji Nagata defeating House of Torture, which is Ren Narita, Sho, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi. So, like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, it was a nice little touch. It was Blue Justice, so, you know, it's a nice little, you know, they're winding down. Some of the New Japan stars are winding down. Everyone from Tanahashi to Yuji Nagata, like, these guys are getting old. They're getting up there in age. Like, you see Toru Yano getting old too. Like, even freaking Tomohiro Ishii, like, he's getting old as hell too. So it's just a lot of these guys got to go eventually, and then when they do, it's going to be a shock. I mean, even Hiroki Goto going against Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP World Championship, you know, that's gonna be a thing. Zack Sabre Jr. looking as the future, even though he's been a vet for a long time, but, like, you know, he's just getting started, and you know, some of these guys got to go eventually. Like I said, some dudes just got to pack it the fuck up. And I'll back that up every single time. I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett. I don't want to see Chris Jericho. I don't want to see these old ass niggas taking spots from these fucking young stars. I just I want them to ride into the sunset, and that's it. There's obviously exceptions to the rules. The Rey Mysterios of the world, the Okadas, like, you know, but some of these guys are losing their luster, man. Everyone, even my favorite, Tetsuya Naito, he's old as fuck. He's got to go. He's got to pack it up. He's got 2 broke knees. He's looking like Tegan Knox out there. Like, what's going on, man? Like, you know, I love Tetsuya Naito. I love Los Ingobernables de Japón. I do. But you got to go. You got to go. Like, damn. All right, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you all for listening to the Midcard Mess podcast. Like, share, subscribe. It's on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. I'm doing it every single day. It's just a one-man show. It's just me, Oos, and I'll see you guys on the next one tomorrow. So, peace.